Hi, this is Gekko from the band Night Area. You are listening and watching Live Prog.
A while back I reviewed the debut album of Peter Matuchniak called Uncover Me. In the biography it said that Peter Matuchniak previously played with a couple of neo-prog bands, so he has a history in progressive rock. And also his solo album showed a lot of progressive elements in the music. It was very nice, I really enjoyed that album. Now, at the same time, he is part of another current band that also brings out their debut album. And I have it in my hands, Gekko Project, Electric Forest. In this album, Peter Matuchniak plays a little bit of a different role because it's a band for guys, and Peter Matuchniak is the guitar player of the band. The lineup is completed by Vance Gloucester on keyboards, Rick Meadows on bass, and Alan Smith on drums. Are we missing something? A singer. Is there a singer? Yes and no. It's basically an instrumental band, an instrumental album. Nevertheless, on 3 tracks there are vocals, and well, you probably can't see it, but right here there's a really small line that says who does the vocals. On 1 track it's done by the drummer, Alan, and on 2 tracks it's done by the keyboard player, Vance. First impression of the album was very keyboard driven. There's a lot of keyboards on it, very heavy on it. Well, I love keyboards, so for me that's a bit of a plus already. But nevertheless, let's just take a look at the music, and you know what, I'm gonna do something I normally don't do. We'll just go and run it track by track and see what kind of music we have. The album opens with Particle Dance. Now, I like the opener very much. What I hear in this song is a bit of a fusion influence in it, and that is something that I came across in other tracks as well, and that is something I hear often in, well, American prog bands, American prog albums. So a very nice album, and already really good guitar work. You know, if you listen to this album, you really hear what a stunning guitar player Peter Matuchniak is. The second track, Black Hole, is a bit of a mixed emotions for me. It's very poppy, it's very accessible. It has a different kind of sound to it. It fits the whole thing. You know, it doesn't stand out in that way, but for me, it stood out a little bit. It's the first track where you hear the vocals, and initially, I thought it was an instrumental album, so I didn't expect vocals. So when I heard them, I was a bit like, okay, we'll get singing. Nevertheless, it's not my favorite track of the album, unfortunately. Cognitive Dissonance. Well, we go back to instrumental again. And here again the fusion influence, but this one is really heavy on the keyboards. Vance Gloucester plays a very important role on this album. He often kind of a little bit dominates with his keyboards. It's very heavy. It's not annoying or anything, but still, it really takes up the attention. Now, of course, when you have instrumental songs, for some reason you need to compensate for the lack of vocals. So in this case, a lot of keyboards, but also a lot of guitars take up, that role that normally is filled with the vocals. London Vibe is a really up-tempo song where, again, the guitar is dominating. So they kind of, mix it up a little bit. Sometimes Vance, sometimes Peter take the lead in it. A very nice song.
A chance can take you from a last romance.
The longest track on the album, which clocks a whopping 6 minutes. For prog, of course, it's really small, but then again, the total length of the album is 41 minutes, so it's not a very long album. It would fit perfectly on vinyl. But Avatar Jones is the most progressive song on the album. again, it has vocals, but it has a nice build-up, a nice song structure with a lot of, you know, differences in tempo and melody, and I really love that very much. That's one of my favorite tracks of the album. Absolutely, really great track. With Erdinger, track number 6, we go back to the fusion influences, but still, you know, very melodic. A lot of keyboards, a lot of guitars. Martian Sunrise was another surprise, and that's my second favorite track on this album, because it has a totally different sound. It's very ambient, it's very mellow. It would almost fit on an electronic music album, you know, a synthesizer album. And well, that was a bit of a surprise because I had not expected a track like that on this album. But nevertheless, you know, I really love it. It really gives you a chance to cool down, and very beautiful. But after that moment of rest, you know, your ears need to be working again, because State of Siege, track number 8, is a real rocking song. Not so much fusion, but real rock again, with a lot of guitars, with a lot of drums, bass. I mean, I'm constantly talking about the keyboards and the guitars because they kind of dominate, but don't blank out the rhythm section on this album, Alan Smith and Rick Meadows, because they do a fantastic job, and it's the 4 of them that make the music. It's not just the 2 of them, although sometimes, you know, they stand out a little bit, but, you know, on the whole, as a band, they work together very well, and again, the solid rhythm section is fantastic on this album, and it's very important because without that, you know, the keyboards and the guitars would be a little bit pointless.
Consciousness arose, they printed out prose, intelligence like we hadn't seen yet.
The rock continues in October Skies, which is the last track with vocals on it. And again, this is a bit of an accessible song, you know, it's not easy listening, but still, you know, it's a kind of song when you hear it, you can, well, practically, very quickly decide, you know, hey, this is nice, I like it. And then we come to the last track, Particle Coda. You know, they kind of links back to the first track, again instrumental, and again, quite ambient, although this time not just the keyboards but also with the guitars in it. So again, you know, Peter Matuchniak shows what a versatile guitar player he is. Altogether, I really enjoyed this album. This is an album I'm definitely gonna play much more, because it's not a standard album. It's not just an album that you can, you know what's coming. It keeps you listening, and it shows enough variety, you know, to make it a very interesting listening experience. Now, if you are familiar with Peter Matuchniak from his Uncover Me album, then I can definitely say you need to get this one as well, to hear a little bit of a different side of this man. If you're not familiar with Peter Matuchniak at all, and you missed out my review, well, watch my review, and definitely listen to this. It's very good music. I really enjoyed it, so I hope you enjoyed it as well. Gekko Project, Electric Forest.